what's your opinion about the kind of tough start Lyon has had in the French league? And do you think that gives you more of a chance or better chances? And the second question, I'll ask the second question just after.
Okay. I think first and foremost, when a new manager comes into a team, it takes time to build a system, a way of playing. It takes time for the players and the manager to get used to each other. I think Lyon have high-level players. I think it's a big club. I think a club that should be in the Champions League, in my opinion. They've also got a very experienced manager. So we're under no illusions how tough this game is, and we've got big respect for the team that we're going to be playing tomorrow.
Second question was probably a more personal question. What can you tell us about Gerard Houllier and your kind of relation with Gerard Houllier? Because I don't know if you know, but his last club was Lyon.
Yes, I'm very much aware of Gerard's career. He's a man who I've got a lot of admiration and respect for. He gave me my big opportunity at Liverpool to play for the first team. It was a really sad day for myself from a personal point of view when he passed, and I wish more than nothing else that he was at tomorrow's game. You know, he was someone who followed my career all the way through as a player and also as a manager, and the amount of education and knowledge I've had from that man is unbelievable. So I hope he's watching down tomorrow, and he's really proud of both teams.
Hi Steven, could we have the squad update for tomorrow night?
Yeah, it's basically as it was. Obviously Phil Helander will be missing. Phil's had surgery in the last 24-48 hours to fix an issue that they spotted when they went inside to have a look, so he'll be missing for the foreseeable future. The rest are as it was, so we're in good health besides Phil.
Stephen, sad news about Philly, but I just wonder how you think that leaves you in terms of cover at the back. I'm presuming there's no avenue for Nikola Katic to come back?
No, and I even if I had the opportunity to bring Nico back, I wouldn't make that decision, because that would be very selfish from me, because Nico's at a stage where he needs to play and play regularly now to get back to his level. So I think Nico's in the best place for that. I'm confident we've got the right amount of cover, assuming we don't have any more issues. Obviously Connor Golson comes back and is available for tomorrow. We've also got certain players that can fill into this position as well if needs be. So at the moment it's obviously disappointing not to have Phil available, but we'll manage.
Can I just double check quickly, Stephen, on Hagi? What's the update there?
Well, we're having conversations at the moment to try and get him back as soon as possible. I think after the news of the Scottish Government have made in the last 24 hours to allow players in who have been in red countries, we're trying to get Giannis back as soon as possible. So there's conversations going as we speak, but obviously out of my control. So unfortunately I haven't got a day or an exact time he'll be here, but from my point of view I need him back as quick as possible.
I just asked you as well about Alan McGregor. He's not played since about, I think, the 22nd of August. He obviously played the 3 European matches last month. Will we see him back tomorrow?
He's available for selection, and we looked after him at the weekend because he had a couple of injury concerns that weren't major, but it wasn't worth taking the risk either, because we obviously had Big John available. So it was more a case of looking after Alan and respecting his body at the weekend. But yeah, he's available and he's fit and good to go tomorrow. And the reason he hasn't played for that long is obviously we've had 2 weeks international break in between. But he has trained really hard in between. He only missed 1 session with the niggle.
Hi Stephen, if I can count, tomorrow will be your 50th European game in charge of Rangers. How would you rate your European journey with Rangers so far, and do the nights get more and more special?
I hope they get more and more special, but the only way to do that is to get results against these big teams. You know, when the high-level opponents come into Ibrox or we're on our travels, we need to make sure we keep impressing ourselves and doing as well as we can. I've really enjoyed the ride and the journey from a personal point of view. In terms of rating myself, I don't really do that. You can only give your best. I think that's for you guys to judge and have your opinion on it. But for me, I've loved it. I love being involved in European games. I did as a player, and I'm really enjoying the ride as a manager as well.
In terms of that European milestone, you know, the 50 games in charge, only 8 defeats, It obviously does provide you with different challenges in terms of scouting the teams, the level of them. Have you and the management team enjoyed that, but also do you feel it has been beneficial to the management team when it comes to the domestic game?
I think 100%. I think as player, coaches and as a manager, you can always learn in every game, and especially when the top managers and the top teams come in, or you're pitting yourself against them. We've had some incredible games. We've made some mistakes along the way, so that's where the experience comes and the growth comes. But this is a big selling point, if you like, for Rangers, is European football. It's how you're trying to attract the best players to come up here and share the journey with you. The fans love it, you know, under the lights, big nights, going on our travels together. We've had some fantastic experiences, and you know, some of the highlights that I've enjoyed during my tenure have come on the back of European fixtures.
Morning, Stephen.
Good morning.
Just wondering where you think Lyon rank in terms of the European opposition you've faced since coming to Rangers, and some of the key strengths that you'd identify from their game.
I think arguably the best. I think it's, you know, a full strength. Lyon, as I said earlier, in my opinion, very much a Champions League team with Champions League calibre players. They've got a manager who got this job on the back of doing ever so well as the Bayer Leverkusen manager. He's been here before, he knows what we're about. So this is a real big test tomorrow, and there's no doubt about it. We have to be at our best. And that goes for both sides of the game. We have to have a high level of focus and concentration tomorrow, because, you know, if you don't against these teams, you can be punished, and punished very quickly. So it's a real good test for us, a good challenge. But we've also got to have our own confidence and our own belief that we can play at this level, we can compete, and at the right times during the game, we have to show bravery that we can go and hit the opposition as well. So we're excited, we're looking forward to it, but we know the size of the challenge, and it's arguably the biggest we've had as a group.
Hi, Stephen.
Hi, Michael.
Obviously, you've reached the last 16 a couple of times. Are the team capable of going further than that and aspiring to the quarterfinals, for example? You look at some of the teams that have reached the last 8 in the last couple of seasons, and you think, well, Rangers should be a match for that.
Well, I think we've proved in the last 3 years we can compete at the level, and we've grew and we've got better, and I think we've obviously, in the last 2 years, we've matched our performance, if you like, by getting to the last 16. So the challenge and part of the remit to the squad at the beginning of the season is, can we keep impressing ourselves and try and go further than that? One thing's for sure, we won't make it easy for anyone, whoever we play against, and I think it's about taking it in stages. So first and foremost, can we get out of this group? We're obviously in pot 2, and we're all aware Lyon was in pot 1, so naturally people will make them the big favourites, if you like, but we've got more than enough in our squad, if we stay healthy, that we can put a right good fight and compete to get out of this group. That's the first stage. Then you need a bit of luck in the draw as you go along. But what a fantastic challenge, and what a time to be part of this team, because the likes of Lyon are coming into town. This is what we all want to be part of.
Lyon in the last few moments have sort of announced their travelling squad, and Moussa Dembele is not part of that due to injury. Given his bright start to the season, do you see that as a bit of a boost?
Well, I think this club and this team knows more than most the abilities and the quality that he possesses. He's obviously started the season reasonably well, and he's gone to Lyon and sort of built on his career, if you like, from Celtic, gone to the next step into one of the top 5 leagues in the world and produced. So I've got a lot of respect for the player in terms of his technical qualities and his ability. But you know, I don't really get involved in opinions of whether Lyon are going to be weaker or stronger, because they've got players capable of coming in. They've got talent all over the pitch, especially in the front 4 positions. So it'd be very naive of me to think that Lyon are going to be any weaker just because one player's missing.
Phil Helander obviously had a lengthy period out early on in his Rangers career. One, how is he from a mental point of view after the injury? And 2, do you have a time scale on when he'll be back?
I've not yet spoke to Phil post-surgery because it happened in the last 24 hours, and I'm told he's still probably trying to get himself together after the surgery, if you like. But I will be speaking to him in the near future to see on his mental state, and also an update on what the surgeon said to Phil from a one-to-one point of view. He's a big player for us. He's always been consistent and helped us since he's come in the door, so he will be a miss and a loss. But again, it's the reason why it's always important to have 4 centre-backs so you can cope when one's missing. So in terms of how long he's going to be out for, difficult to put a time frame on it, but he'll certainly be missing for at least a few months.